Right now, behind the closed doors of a highly secretive laboratory, there is a device that can read a word off your face before you say it. Not after, before. It watches a layer of muscle movement most people don't even know they're making. The same twitch that happens when you silently mouth a sentence in your head, and it turns that twitch into text. No sound, no lips moving in any way you'd notice, just the ghost of speech, captured and decoded. When Apple quietly spent close to $2 billion acquiring a secretive company with no public product and no visible revenue, most of the tech press wrote it up as a routine acquisition story, a line in a quarterly report. What they missed is that Apple didn't buy a better way to talk to Siri. They bought a way to skip talking altogether, and the engineer behind it has already changed how your phone identifies your face once before. In late January 2026, Apple confirmed its second-largest acquisition in company history, behind only Beats. The target was a company called QAI, based in Israel, valued at somewhere between $1.6 and $2 billion depending on which outlet you read. Here's what made it strange. QAI had no public product, no customer base anyone could point to, no meaningful revenue on record. Its website barely said anything about what the company actually did. For a company with almost no public footprint, $2 billion is an extraordinary amount of money. The person leading QAI was Aviad Mazels. If that name doesn't mean anything to you, his last company should. Mazels previously founded PrimeSense, the Israeli company behind the three-dimensional sensing technology Apple bought in 2013. That acquisition became the foundation of Face ID. So this isn't Mazels' first exit to Apple, it's his second. And both times, the technology involved scanning your face. That's the part worth sitting with. Face ID mapped the geometry of your face so a phone could recognize you. AI's technology does something categorically different. It doesn't ask what your face looks like. It asks what your face is about to say. According to reporting from the Financial Times and Reuters, QAI built technology capable of interpreting what's been called silent speech. Here's how it reportedly works. The system shines infrared light onto your face, invisible to the eye, and reads the micro movements happening underneath the skin, the muscle activity that fires when you form words, even if you never intend to speak them out loud. Whisper the words. Mouth them silently. Just think about saying them clearly enough that your facial muscles twitch in response. The system is designed to catch it. The intended hardware isn't a phone in your hand. It's built for things already sitting on your body. AirPods, smart glasses, anything close enough to your face to catch that infrared signal continuously. Job listings connected to the acquisition describe an electro-optical module built for what's called a mass production-ready device, running a custom software stack designed to operate directly on the hardware rather than in the cloud. Think about what that quietly solves for Apple. Every voice assistant on the market has the same weakness. You can't use it in a quiet room without everyone hearing what you asked. You can't use it in a loud one without it mishearing you completely. Silent speech interpretation solves both problems at once. You could, in theory, ask a question without making a single sound, and the device sitting on your face would already know what you said. That's the pitch Apple is likely buying. A world where talking to your devices doesn't require talking at all. Here's where the story turns. The audio interface use case is the version of this technology you'll see in press releases. It's not the only thing the patent filings describe. According to a patent application connected to QAI, filed last year, the same sensor array used to detect silent speech is also capable of reading biometric signals well outside the range of "What did you just say?" heart rate, respiration rate, and, according to reporting on the filing, indicators tied to a person's emotional state, derived from the same facial data the system is already collecting to interpret speech. Sit with that for a second. This isn't a separate feature bolted onto the microphone replacement. It's the same infrared scan, the same continuous read on your face, repurposed to extract something else entirely. Not what you're saying, what you're feeling while you say it, or while you say nothing at all. A device built to interpret silent speech has to be watching your face constantly to work. That means the emotional and biometric layer isn't an optional add-on Apple would need to build new hardware for. It's already running, by default, every time the microphone replacement feature is active. According to the published patent applications, the physical infrastructure to track heart rate and stress responses isn't a future roadmap item. On paper, it already exists inside the same system being marketed as a convenience upgrade. This is the part that separates QAI from being a nice-to-have feature and turns it into something closer to a continuous biometric monitor that happens to also translate silent speech. An efficiency tool doesn't need your heart rate. A prediction engine does. For the last 2 decades, the entire tech economy has run on one basic transaction. You search for something, and companies sell your attention based on what you typed. That model depends on you making a decision, typing it out, and creating a data point they can act on. Every major platform is built around waiting for that moment. Silent speech interpretation breaks that model completely. If a device can read the sentence forming in your facial muscles before you decide to say it out loud, the company on the other end no longer needs you to finish the thought, let alone type it. And if that same device is quietly reading your heart rate and stress signals in the background, it doesn't need to wait for you to express a preference at all. It can infer the micro-frustration or the micro-desire crossing your face in real time, before you've consciously registered it yourself. That's the actual shift buried in this acquisition. Not a better Siri. A move from companies monetizing what you decide to say toward companies monetizing what you were about to say and never got the chance to. Apple has not announced any product built on this technology. Everything here comes from patent filings, job postings, and reporting on a deal that closed just weeks ago. It may be years before any of this ships, if it ships at all in this form. But the acquisition tells you where the thinking is headed. The next battleground in tech is not what you type into a search bar. It is the half-formed sentence sitting on your face that you never chose to say out loud. The inside of your own head used to be the one place that stayed entirely yours. That may not be true for much longer.